About a week ago, I had a conversation with Ralph Tillon, one of the CEOs and founders of Analogue. If you're not already familiar, Analogue is a camera company out of the Netherlands, which is working on a brand new point-and-shoot camera called the AF1. Over the past couple of years, the Analogue community has had a lot of cameras that have been promises made, but not promises kept. And for a company like Analogue, which isn't based in a location that is known for its camera industry and kind of unknown to the general public, you would understand why I expressed a little bit of skepticism about the project. It was actually Analogue that reached out to me to see if I would want to have a one-on-one conversation with Ralph to see if there was anything that I could be persuaded on. During that time, Ralph was exceptionally emotive and expressive about how passionate he was about the AF1. Here are just some of the things that we talked about that I don't think I've seen anywhere else on the internet yet. Ralph expects the lens of the camera to be about 60 to 75% of the entire camera's worth. Which is a good thing, because if the optics aren't good, then it's not worth making a brand new camera, right? But it really sounded like that was the largest hurdle to get over while building this camera. Making a lens that is sharp, small, and compact, and also going to be affordable for us consumers is something that's really difficult for Analogue to do, but it sounds like they've pulled it off already. I believe that the camera is operating on a leaf shutter system as opposed to a focal plane, which is kind of cool. No rolling shutter, if that's something that you're worried about. Analogue indeed is setting up a manufacturing line, which is a huge deal. The only other company that's been able to set up a manufacturing line is Pentax, because they've got legacy and they got money. I suppose Intrepid also counts because they do manufacture all of their own cameras, but the build for those is a little bit simpler than like a point-and-shoot camera. Analogue themselves is actually purchasing and building molds so that they can create a lot of these cameras. For those of you that are worried about the tariffs between China and the US, he said that it probably won't be an issue, but the situation on the tariffs is changing so frequently that no one can find out if it's going to be a problem or not. So, no answer there. He was also really excited to tell me that the camera can be upgraded, like the software or firmware can be updated. That's one of those things that engineers get really excited about. For me personally, a camera without any additional dials makes it so that there's not really much to do about software updates, you know what I mean? That's more for like autofocus or better exposure systems. And one of the very last questions I asked him is if there were any changes that could be made to the camera before it hit the production line. And Ralph said no, which is a good sign. If you're in a phase of manufacturing where you're still able to make changes to the final product, that means that you haven't gotten very far in the manufacturing. The camera that's advertised on the Analogue website is probably going to be pretty much a perfect replica of what is going to be created in real life. Here's what you need to know. Y'all already know that I'm a skeptical person. I wasn't really sure if this was a real project at first, which is part of the reason why I want to preface what I'm about to say with this statement. I don't have any relationship with Analogue. They didn't have me sign an NDA. I'm not under contract in any way, shape, or form. They're not paying me any money. And I hope that maybe they'll send me a camera sometime in the future so that I can test it and show you guys how it works. But that wasn't promised. I full-heartedly believe that Analogue is going to be bringing us a new camera. I don't think that it's coming in June. I don't think that it's coming in 2025. I think that it'll be in spring of 2026. That's where my bets are. But I'm making this statement purely based off of the conversation that I had with Ralph. I got to see his passion. I got to see how emotional he was about the AF1. This project is truly his child. However, I should also say that he was unable to show me any photo evidence of any of the components that are going into the camera or a prototype of the camera body. Before we hopped off the call, Ralph told me that he had a trip to the manufacturing facility coming up, so there he would be able to take pictures of components of the camera so that he could send it to me so I could share it with all of you so you guys can see what's going on with the AF1 project. He should be getting back to me pretty soon. I don't actually need to see photos of the working camera. I just want to see components of the camera.
Yo, what's up? Editing Levi from the future. Ralph did go to China and he followed through as promised. He sent me a video of the prototype of the camera. So I've seen it, but he asked me not to share it with anyone in my audience. I do hope that Analogue does share some of the images of the prototype with all of you because it's very, very exciting to get to see it live and in person. I know I don't look excited, but I'm very tired and it's allergy season. And also I realize I didn't say this over the course of the video, but I just want to thank Ralph again for having a conversation with me about this product. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was awesome, and I'm so happy that I can bring this information to my audience. And also thank you, Amelia, for setting this up. Anyway, back to the video.
But I don't know, y'all are gonna let me know what you think in the comments. And also let me know if you're a believer of the AF1 or not. I think the AF1 is going to be really cool for the film photography community, especially if it works good. For two reasons. Number one, it might actually be affordable. Ralph is working really, really hard to keep the price of the camera body at 400 euros, which is around 475 USD. I actually don't know, I haven't done the math. But $400 for a premium point and shoot, totally fair. The Mint Rolly project, the camera that came out like last year, that camera is currently sitting around 900 USD. In my opinion, that's way too expensive for a point and shoot, even a premium point and shoot. If the AF1 works well and it has optics that are equal to or better than the Rolly 35, I'd say that this camera is gonna be dope. But then again, it is an automatic point and shoot camera, and me as an advanced photographer or a professional photographer, I would prefer a camera with manual aperture, manual focus, and manual shutter speed, just because it lets me have more control over my compositions. But hey, that's just me. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Y'all are gonna let me know what you think down in the comments. That's pretty much all I have to say. All right, thanks. Okay, bye. Whew.